So, welcome to the official-ish trailer of a brand new show that we are calling P2 Podcast Blues, a solo George Harrison podcast. This is going to be a monthly show. First of all, I'd like to introduce my co-host, then I'll introduce myself. He is the proclaimed king of podcasting. He's a really great guy. He has a great show called Pods Like Us where he talks to basically anybody that does a podcast and asks them their history of podcasting. It's a fascinating show. Martin, I'm really happy to call you my co-host.
Thank you very much. I'm Martin Quibell, who is known to many people as Marv. I don't know whether I'd really proclaim myself as a king of podcasting. I think there are a lot more people who are better at it than me, and to pull away the curtain, if you heard the episodes in their original states, then you would know that. But we won't go into that. But yes, the whole thing with a George Harrison podcast, it just surprised me that there is actually no podcast for George, even though all the other three Beatles or ex-Beatles do have podcasts that are specifically about them. And it surprises me because of the wealth of projects that George has been involved with in all areas of media.
It's really amazing. I mean, you look at his film work, the music. I think that, I'll be completely honest, George was probably the most consistent out of all four Beatles. Because, I'm going to be honest, as much as I love Paul, usually on his albums there's one track that I can do without. But there are 6 Harrison albums that I would listen to straight through without skipping one track.
I would agree with that. I mean, even John's, what we've got, unfortunately was taken from us early. Even on John's albums, there's always the odd one where most people will listen, unless your name's Ken Michaels, most people will listen and there'll be a song that you'll not be particularly fond of. And can't believe I mentioned Ken. And so with John you'll have one that you might not like so much, but with George, I think it's a case of George was a bit of a perfectionist, I think, when it came to music, where he would spend that long sweating over the material until he got it exactly how he wanted it, whereas John and Paul more so than John, is just so prolific that in a sense it's almost like Paul is writing songs so quickly that he hasn't got time to actually maybe clean them up a bit and spruce them up and put a shirt and tie on them, to use a dressing up analogy, say.
Yeah, I will agree with that. George, I think he's introspectively interesting. And just to start off, what's your favorite Harrison solo song?
Wow, my favourite George Harrison solo song?
Yes.
That's a tough one. But possibly, undoubtedly it'd probably be something from the first album, All Things Must Pass, because there's so much of a wealth of material to choose from that. So probably something like, I don't know, there's a beauty in the chords and the progression of Isn't It a Pity, and the melody of that is just gorgeous, even if you don't even take into account the pristine lyrics that he wrote. The melody on that is just, it's up there with the melodic work of Paul, in my opinion.
I agree. Now, quickly, just because I want to make this as short as we can, just give us your contact information and a little bit about your show.
Okay. Well, my other show, Pods Like Us, as Hudson said, I talk to podcasters, people who have their own podcast shows, but it's really about the world of podcasting. So I also talk to people who listen to podcasts but aren't podcasters to get their side of the world of podcasting as well. And then there are other areas of podcasting that people don't normally think about. So I've got some shows coming up where I've chatted with people who design logos and artwork for podcasters, and also they do social media sites and websites for these podcasts as well. So it's the promotion of them as well, and so it delves into all sides basically of the podcasting world, even to areas, like I said, that you might not think about.
Yeah, I agree. So
Is that okay? Did you want any more?
yeah, just give us where we could get a hold of you, like on Facebook or
Hudson?
I was muted. I apologize. Zoom difficulties. Just can we get a hold of you on Facebook or email or?
Okay, quickly add that in. But for my show, Pods Like Us, you can get hold of us on. There's a Facebook page. If you just search for Pods Like Us, you'll find it, and the same goes for Instagram. On Twitter, just look me up under my name, Martin Quibell, and you'll find posts on there about Instagram. But the best place to go for any information about Pods Like Us is really on the Instagram page, or on my website, themarvzone.org, and there's links on there for Pods Like Us as well, including show diaries.
I love that title, The Marv Zone. That's awesome.
Yes. Thank you.
And yeah, so Marv, thank you again so much for choosing to go on this long and winding road. I'm gonna create an email address for this, folks. I'll link it in the description when this goes out. There will be a website where you can just contact us to make life easier. These will be up everywhere, but it will probably only go up to YouTube tonight, and you'll obviously have the login, Marv.
Yeah, okay.
So, as for me and Martin Quibell, this is our trailer, and thank you all for listening.